Experts from the sub-region have concluded a three-day meeting in Banjul to discuss the technical review meeting of the Health for Peace initiative for the prevention of blindness in the sub-region. The convergence was organized by the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in partnership with West Africa Health Organization WAHO and Sight Savers International. Ominjai reports.
The initiative was set up in 1999 by 4 West African states, Gambia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau and Guinea-Conakry. With a combined population of 18 million, the initiative is built to promote peace within and between countries through cooperation in various health initiatives. At a meeting in Banjul in May 2001, technical experts of the 4 countries recommended that the prevention of blindness should be identified as the 5th program within the Health for Peace initiative. It is against this backdrop that a 3-day technical review meeting was organized for ECOWAS member states on the prevention of blindness within the sub-region. The recently ended sub-regional meeting seeks to foster regional integration in West Africa through improved governance in eye health.
We in the Gambia, we're looking at how WAHO, together with its partners, can support our regional eye care health center and then make it basically functional so that it can serve its purpose.
The construction and establishment of Sheikh Zayed Eye Care Center and the development of district eye care services were notable highlights in the HFPI PBL initiative. The center serves as a cornerstone for excellence and training for eye care in West African sub-region.
There could not be ready recipes or magic formulas on most effective initiatives for the social, economic and political development. But I believe open and serious discussions could be a step forward in finding the best answers. I invite all of us to be open and creative in our ideas and proposals.
The government of the Gambia has provided possible support to the sub-regional initiative. This support was clearly demonstrated through positive action and not mere pledges. The head of Sight Savers in West Africa said the Sight Savers has already built in partnership with the Ministries of Health of the 4 countries who mobilize support for the development and implementation of the prevention of blindness component of the HFPI, with the construction of a regional center was one of the 4 components. He reported that the eye care unit only served 1.2 million people in the Gambia, but later reached out to the rest of the population living in the 4 countries. With their concerted efforts, the issue of blindness will soon be a thing of the past in the sub-region. Ominjai, GRTS.
We now take our first break. Mandela's life has been celebrated by the people world over, and many, particularly musicians, ensured his life in prison at the notorious Robben Island jail was not spent in solitude. One of the continent's music icons, Senegalese superstar Youssou N'Dour, says Mandela's story inspired him. We have more in this report.
1986, apartheid was a way of life in South Africa, and the world dealt with it as such. In Senegal, young singer Youssou N'Dour sang about a political prisoner whose face was largely unknown, locked up since 1960. The South African freedom fighter inspired the young Senegalese musician.
C'est l'image de que c'est possible.
Mandela transmitted the message that it was possible.
Mandela
told us it is possible to reach the top of the world from Africa. That's what he told us. Now when I begin something, I have no complexes about dealing with the Americans or anyone else.
I want to make it like him.
Youssou N'Dour says that when Nelson Mandela was head of state in South Africa, he thanked him for his earlier support. Mandela's humility only strengthened N'Dour's admiration. Mandela was a role model for several generations of Africans.
My fight was never only national. My activity was always on a pan-African level. My inspiration came from Nelson Mandela. My biggest project is New Africa. It's a map of Africa, not simply sectors of it. And he inspired me with all of this.
For Ndour, the association with Mandela will remain forever. He named his last son Nelson. And he may once again sing about him now that he is back in the music scene after stepping down as culture minister.
Malians are set to return to the polls on Sunday in the second round of legislative elections. One of the candidates vying for a seat in the Bamako is Karim Keita, the son of President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. Many critics of the government say the results of the first round of voting was rigged. We have details in this report.
A bit of music to try and motivate people to turn out in local elections in Mali, which so far have drawn little interest. In a festive atmosphere, Karim Keita is trying to bring his supporters together in a voting district in the Malian capital, Bamako. Karim Keita is the son of President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita, who was elected in August. Karim is now hoping to win enough votes to take a seat at the National Assembly, which was made vacant after his father moved on to become president. This is the first time in recent Malian history that the child of the head of state has run for political office.
It doesn't bother me. I'm proud to be my father's son. Now, to be a candidate, as I said, fortunately, because it's neither an ordinance or a decree. I'm asking for the people to put me in public office in my country. It's as simple as that.
In the first round of voting in November, Karim Keita came in ahead of his rivals with 44% of the vote. Now, President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita's son is expected to win in the runoff vote, which will take place on Sunday. But the opposition has contested the results of the first round of voting in this district as well as others. Soumaïla Cissé lost out to Ibrahim Boubacar Keita in the presidential election, but he won a seat as a deputy in the first round of legislative elections.
In any case, it's possible that the vote is stained by manipulation. Everything is set for the RDM to get the absolute majority in this election.
A victory for the Rally for Mali party would enable President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita to get through the reforms he promised the Malian people during his presidential campaign. But the Union for the Republic and Democracy needs a majority in the National Assembly in order to ensure that its leader becomes the head of the opposition parties.
In the current setup, nothing proves how the voting transfer will really go, because it has been calculated on the candidates' level, not based on the votes themselves.
There was very low turnout for the first round of voting in legislative elections on November 24th. The United States and the European Union are calling on the Malian people to come out en masse to vote in the second round on Sunday.
We now take a second break. And before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. Her Excellency Aja Sombi Bojang has made a surprise visit to the President's Jiramba farm, where volunteers are scaling up efforts to round up a 2-week intensive exercise on the farm. The Agribusiness Services and Producers Association and the Gambia government have pegged this year's groundnut producer price at